welcome to the judgment-free zone today. I'm Brett Rushia, and this is Georgia Watson.
Hi, everybody.
No, we are both certified facilitators of access consciousness. Um, yeah,
And certified bonkers for animals.
certified bonkers for animals. I don't know if that how that translates, but you guys can figure it out.
Wild. We're wild about animals.
We actually have an animal right here. This is Kitty. Oh, yes. So this has been amazing, these judgment-free zone lives that have been going on as part of the International Being You Day for this year, for 2024.
Yeah, it's
Um,
been absolutely beautiful to hear different perspectives on being you. And this topic is so vast, and each person brings something so special to the conversation. So we're just very honored to be a part of that and bringing in also a topic that includes so many species. I mean, this is a wild experience.
yeah, so if you want to see any of the previous ones that have been done, or any of the future ones that have yet to be done, or if you want to be able to see Dr. Dain Heer's big grand finale on the 22nd of June, go to beingyouday.com and check all that out, because it's just amazing.
The gang's all there, and we'd love to see you there too.
Yes. So what is our question for today?
So our question is, what can animals teach us about being you?
So what can animals teach us about being you?
Well, for how many of you watching now and in the future, do you have an animal that's really special to you? And I think it's not a coincidence or something strange that animals are really special to us in our lives. I mean, that's one of the things that we can feel comfort from. Animals are something that someone that we know is going to be there and not judge us. And they're a great friend to be able to rely on to remind us, kind of like more like who we are. Like, who would you rather go to if you're uncertain about yourself or you're feeling self-conscious? An animal or a person?
Yeah, a lot of times an animal, which is great, because animals, they don't do judgment. They don't have the capacity for it. They just can't. They don't know how.
Yeah,
People
even
do.
even people too.
Even the great ones can still go to judgment. It's just how we're taught to live here, and
Yeah.
how we're taught to fit in and to be right and not be wrong.
Yeah. So, since we do get to play with the energy of animals and the topic of animals today, why don't we play in that realm of how do animals see us? What do they know about who we are? And how many of us spend like, I know I've spent a lot of time, especially in my growing up, trying to look for who I am and how people see me. Like, wouldn't it be so nice if you could learn about yourself that way? Because that's kind of what we're taught. Yet, maybe looking through the worlds of animals might actually give us much more of a full and spacious and more accurate sense
Mhm.
of who we are as beings.
Yeah, for me when I was growing up, I basically learned to try to find myself in other people's realities. Has any of you out there do that at all, where it's like you feel a certain way around some person, and then you go with another person and you feel a totally different way around them. But for me, I wasn't looking for who I am with as myself. I was looking for what pieces of me can I find in the worlds of others that's acceptable to other people when I'm with them, and then try to be around the people that I can be more of me with, and not the ones that I couldn't. And what that did was that set me up to not have a an effective life where I could deal and be present with anyone or anything that came up. I could only really do well in situations that didn't challenge me.
Yeah.
And so with animals, when I started hanging out with animals, which was thanks to this amazing lady here, because I didn't have many animals in my life growing up. But when we met, George was like, "Are you an animal person?" And I was like, I don't think so.
I think that was the first day we met. I was
Yeah.
like, this is really important to me. Are you an animal person?
Which it turned out to be a huge lie. Because when I first started being around animals, especially horses, and the horses at Gary Douglas and Dr. Dain Heer's ranch here in Texas, the Lazy Double D Ranch, I would go around them and they didn't have these expectations. They didn't have these realities for me to go and try to fit into. So I had a very uncomfortable time around these horses where I'm like, I don't know how to be, I don't know how to act. It's like there was just total freedom in their space of no judgment. And if any of you out there have had a similar situation where you get around horses and you start either feeling uncomfortable or like you don't know how to be, you might want to lean into that and start to actually explore because the space that animals actually are and can be for you, especially horses in that way, it you start to discover more of who you are and who you'd like to be, and not just trying to be who other people would like you to be, or try not to be what you've decided is bad that you've already decided you are.
Yeah. And one of the ways you can do this too is even just introducing yourself to an animal. It can be your own animal or somebody else's, but just holding your hand out for them to smell. Like animals receive so much information through that sense. And it's like getting received from an animal, like checking out like where you been, what you've done that day. It's like if you're actually present with that moment when they're just kind of smelling your hand and checking you out, that might be more than any person out there can ever really fully receive us. And that could be disenchanting or disheartening or very unromantic when we're taught so much about how children are supposed to show us what true love is, and a partner and a perfect companion in a person is what we're really looking for. But when we start to include more elements of nature in in who we are, we get to be more full as ourselves, as the beings that we are. And we don't have to go around trying to be and pretend to be the best version of us that will be received by others.
Yeah, because when you're being you, you're not functioning from a judgmental world. It's
Yeah.
like you have allowance for you, you have allowance for others, and you still get to choose what you'd like to have or who you'd like to interact with or how you'd like to interact. And you don't have to take the crap that other people want to give to you.
Yeah.
But you have a space where you have total freedom and choice for you and how you would like to be, not based on social standards, not based on your family's programming, but based on what actually makes you feel happy and have a sense of pride of being who you are.
Yeah. So, how many of you were taught that you're supposed to take crap from people? And we'll use the access consciousness clearing statement here. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod and poc, shorts, boys, povads, and
And
beyonds.
if you don't know what that is, you can go to theclearingstatement.com.
It's a great website. It has a whole description with Dr. Dain Heer, who's one of the co-creators of Access Consciousness, and Simone Milasas, who's just an incredible certified facilitator of Access Consciousness. And that's a tool that we use literally in our everyday lives. It is so much a part of us talking to ourselves, us talking to our cat, us just the way that we clear energy when things come up. Like when I asked, like, how many of us are taught to take crap from others? It's like that has a whole solid energy. And it's okay that something feels heavy and solid and gross and yucky. That is actually an indication that that energy, that very thing, is alive for you as a being. So instead of holding on to that, putting it in your backpack, taking it with you, sharing it with other people, we can use the access consciousness clearing statement just by saying, gosh, everything that brings up, I'll destroy and uncreate it all times a godzillion. Because
Right,
that's a
wrong,
number that's just so big that only God knows.
right, wrong, good, bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. And like those things, those heavy things that are actually lies about who we are. Um, a lot of times when we buy those things, either growing up or from other people or just however we buy them, then we tend to go to everyone we interact with and we kind of shove it in their face and go, hey, this thing that I bought about me, like, will you also buy this lie about me too? So, like, we can be in cahoots here. You can validate that this is a right thing for me to have. And and when we do that, it's just perpetuating lies in the world. And we're the ones who create this and who like we're the ones who are maintaining this and putting a lot of work into making sure that other people judge us in the way that we've judged ourselves. And when you go into the world of animals and nature, that just doesn't exist.
Yeah. And they also don't take crap from people. I mean, maybe certain species might a little bit more than others. Like, for example, dogs really good at being there kind of no matter what, but they have a line as well. So when you look at like a cat, for example, or a horse, or what animals in your life have you experienced this with that they don't, they just don't take crap from others. They don't take crap from you when you're lying about who you are. Or if even the lie that you're being is that I'm having a bad day and I'm the worst person, and they'll come over and melt that out of your world because they're like, that's not true for me. I'd rather give all of my healing energy to you right now than have you believe this lie about you. Want to
That
cuddle?
right there, because they don't believe in the lies and the judgments that we put out. They might not
Yeah.
necessarily put up with it, but they don't buy into them. And that's the
Yeah.
space that we can be and you can be when we
Yeah.
choose to be more have more of that space that an animal has of no judgment, where someone comes to you with their crap pile that they're trying to get you to buy. Like, this is me, I'm annoying, see?
I've worked really hard on this.
And then when you don't buy into that and you be the space that you are, and we can talk about this thing called the zone that all animals have and
Ooh,
you do
yay, a
too. But
tool.
when you be that space, it gives other people, it gives anyone that you're around the space to not have to buy that as real for themselves. They might choose to amp it up even more, or they might choose to make a different choice. But you being that space gives them that ability to choose something else instead of just that contracted energy that they have bought is real and true for them.
Yeah. So I just want to circle again back to that recognition of animals not buying the lies about us is true. And so, how many of you all out there have bought the way to show caring for other people is to believe their lies about themselves? And everything that brings up and lets down. Would you destroy and uncreate it all?
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, bovines, and beyond.
What if there's a caring that you know is a being that doesn't show up anywhere else on the planet except for in your knowing, in your awareness, through your world? And what could that be?
Yeah. So that brings up that leads wonderfully into talking about the zone, and this is something that Gary Douglas
Yeah.
discovered from his working with animals over the years, and basically it's like the zone is literally this like zone of peace that exists in all animals that all animals have, including us. But
Yeah,
a lot of
it's
times we
like
don't want to know it.
yeah, it's like if you're home and maybe if you live with someone else or you've seen like a car that's driving, I'm not explaining this well. If basically you've been in a house anytime and you've recognized that an animal knows that someone's coming before you can hear it, before you can tell that they're there, part of that could be their hearing, but they also have this sphere, this area around them that they have a lot of information that they're pulling from. So they have much more than just inside the house that they're aware of. They have this zone that is expanded to a particular distance.
Yeah. And so like in the horse world, a stallion will have a huge
Oh,
zone because
massive.
they have to be aware of their job is to be aware of everything around so that they can, yeah,
Protect,
protect
defend.
a
They've got a
herd.
herd of ladies that are
Yeah.
really important to them. It is in their best interest to keep track of all those ladies and make sure that they are cared for and that predators don't have easy access to make their herd smaller.
Yeah. So one thing you can do with an animal that is either having difficulty or you can just kind of you can expand their zone. And this is like you can do this with people as well. You basically just kind of be with be with the animal, you know, you can even like kind of bring up the energy of an animal that you know. And some animals might have their zone expanded or like very expansive already. And if that's the case, you can just kind of sense into it. Okay, what's this animal's zone right now? And you'll get a sense of it just by asking. And if you don't think you get a sense of it, that's okay. It just means you're probably way faster and better than you think you are.
Yeah.
So you get a sense of that within it. Oh, here's
Here's an
Kitty.
example. You guys can
Yeah,
use Kitty if you like
you
your
guys can use
buddy.
Kitty. So if you, yeah, so if you get a, so, so then you could just kind of like expand it. You can use your hands if you want and kind of like just expand that energy in that space. And then you just kind of do that until you get a sense of peace. And that's the awareness that the animal also is having a sense of peace. Kitty's pretty easy because his zone's already pretty expanded, but we're actually doing something with him right
It's
now.
getting greater.
Yeah, it's getting greater. And so when you work with animals in this way, they're most of the time very willing to have their zone expanded if it's been collapsed, because
Yeah.
that just means that they will have a greater sense of awareness of what's going on around them, which most animals are very grateful to have.
Very grateful. And sometimes even something like a loud noise or fireworks or something like a transformer blowing, if it's like this sound that they don't know what's going on, it can collapse their zone. And so that's a great tool to have with working with animals. Even if yeah, you can basically just use it at any time. It's one of our go-to favorite tools.
Yeah, and I've heard Gary Douglas say that like basically when you work and you find the zone in an animal's world, that place where
Mhm.
peace exists for the animal naturally. It's like when you start playing with that and expanding that, you will find your own zone where peace exists for you. And when you have that, you can be peaceful in any any situation.
Wow. Okay, cool. So everywhere where you've looked to find peace, the piece of you where you don't actually exist, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pod and pock, shorts, boys, popads, and emos.
I don't know about y'all out there, but I'm perceiving a wonderful level of peace.
Yeah.
So cool what we can have when it's so simple and easy, and it can be so frustratingly simple and easy. Like, wait,
It's gonna
what? That's all it takes? All it takes is just like really expanding out and finding the sense of peace that's just natural to me and my body. Ah,
yeah. All right. Well,
well, I think that's like we're I think we're like close to our time. And
yeah.
like it's funny because like when you have that sense of peace and space, there isn't the trauma and drama to deal with or to address.
Yeah.
It's like everything's just kind of beautiful and spacious.
Yeah. So,
So
thank
you
you
can,
so much.
oh,
Well, what?
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
you don't have to play with this with just animals that you
No.
know. Like a lot of times Georgia and I will go to the zoo and we'll do this stuff with the zone, and we'll play with animals because animals are also telepathic, just in case you didn't know that. Um, and we are as well, if you didn't know that. Surprise. Um, so you can play with talking to the animals and expanding their zones, asking them how their day is going.
Yeah,
George
complimenting.
Georgia will often compliment an animal, and that works really well.
Like that is such a beautiful blue you created. Like, oh my gosh, I've never seen feathers like that. That is awesome.
Like they like light up. It's amazing. That acknowledgement lights them up, especially in a zoo when they are getting a lot of people going, perform for me, monkey,
Yeah, do something. Tap, tap, tap on
instead of
them.
like, wow, look how beautiful you are. This is amazing. So it's when you acknowledge the being and the being that you are. This also works for you as well. If you acknowledge yourself in this way.
No, 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 no,
Oh,
no.
sorry. I mean acknowledging others in this way and
Right, right,
animals.
right.
It lights them up. It's more of an acknowledgement of what's actually true and not the lies and the projections that other people do. So one other tool with animals is you can destroy and create all of the projections, the rejections, the expectations, the separations, and the judgments that get put on them. Because people tend to project and expect and judge, and animals can get stuck with those,
Mhm.
especially animals who are trying to fulfill what people need. And there are animals that will do that. And people, like any of you guys out there, do that, try to fulfill what other people need of you. So all we'll do that with you right now, and then we can do that with animals. So all of the projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections that people have
Hmm.
put on you or your body, will you destroy and uncreate all of that now? Cool.
Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine POD and POC shorts, boys, popots, meows.
Ah, you notice how that lightens you up.
Yeah, it's
Feel like you can,
relieving.
yeah, it is relieving because all of those things we're maintaining that aren't us. An infinite being infinitely you, it's like you have everything available to you. You aren't just one thing. You don't have what you are and what you're not. You have everything available to you, and then you get to choose in every moment what you'd like to have and be.
Yeah. So those two tools of expanding the zone and clearing away the projections and expectations. There's a little longer list that we gave before, but if you just remember a couple of those and just clear or just all the judgments that have been put on these animals, go for a walk and play with it and see what it creates for your world, and if you might even have more of a sense of your being by contributing and gifting this freedom to another creature, whether it's a little insect, maybe an insect that you've had a point of view about, or an insect that you don't even like. Try contributing to them and just see what it creates in your world, and if there's even just a moment more of your peace and you being with yourself, that is an enormous gift to this earth and to all of us. So thank you for everything that you're doing and choosing more of you all the time. You are a tremendous gift, and we adore you so much and hope to see you somewhere wonderful around the world, whether it's online or in person.
Thank
Thank y'all so
you.
much. Bye bye.
And enjoy being
Yeah.
you.